Hi, I'm Carrie, and here we have The Go-Between by L.P. Hartley, published in 1955. It's a British novel set in 1900 in a country house, think Downton Abbey. Now, the main character is Leo, a 13-year-old schoolboy from a private school, or public school as the British would call it, who is asked to spend part of the summer holidays with his friend Marcus. Marcus is part of the wealthy family, the Maudsleys, who own the hall and surrounding land. Leo, on the other hand, is solidly middle class and, as we'll see, is out of his depth with the upper class world he falls into. At the heart of the story is a love triangle between Marion Maudsley, Viscount Trimmingham, and Ted Burgess, a local tenant farmer. Now, as the title implies, Leo becomes the go-between between the three, ferrying messages. Now, the Viscount, of course, has no idea that there is a very hot and heavy romance going on between Marion and Ted. Also, of course, for 1900, a very inappropriate one. Now, what the novel does brilliantly, and it's a fantastic novel, it's often regarded as one of the great novels of the 20th century, is show us the psychology of a 13-year-old boy still trapped in a pre-adolescent sort of state of mind, not understanding the adult world, its workings, its rules, its etiquette, especially when an upper class one, which he's been pitched into. And having to guess his way and fumble his way into understanding why the adults are behaving in this way. He really has no idea why he's taking messages and why it all has to be kept so secret. And this, after a point, as he begins to learn a bit more, he suspects that there's something not quite right in Marion, who is semi-officially engaged to Viscount Trimmingham, having some kind of relationship with a farmer. And he starts to refuse to carry messages. And Marion and Ted round on him quite harshly. Now, what happens in the end, spoilers ahead, by the way, is that, of course, he cannot keep telling lies. And it ends up that Marion's mother and Leo, when they go and look for Marion, who has disappeared one evening, find her having sex with Ted. Shock, horror. Now, more than that, it's more than just a romantic melodrama. It's far more. That's almost of secondary interest. As I said, it's the psychology of growing up, of coming of age, which is just beautifully delineated in all its details, its small pleasures and its great pitfalls. It is also a really incisive look at how a class system works, in this case British, but how every word and gesture, piece of clothing can be used to mark one out, to hurt one's social standing, to raise it. And it's the author does an amazing job of doing that. And really, it's about that as much as it is about coming of age. Now, the ending, more spoilers coming, by the way, has a couple of, you can almost say, flaws. After Marion is discovered in rolling in the hay with Ted, her mother, it's not explained entirely, does not announce this fact clearly. So Marion, within less than a year, marries Viscount Trimmingham. Ted, on the other hand, kills himself. Now, psychologically, the way Ted has been described to us as a ladies' man, a lively guy, lady killer he's called at one point, he somehow just doesn't sound right for him. Unless you look at it as the idea, the author giving the idea that the tragedy involved in these things always ends up falling on the lower classes. Similarly, in an epilogue with Leo as an adult revisiting the estate, which has fallen on hard times sometime in the 1950s after World War II, it tells us that as the result of seeing the ghastly sight of two adults having sex, he has been celibate for the rest of his life. Okay, does not seem plausible and seems more a reflection from what I've read about L.P. Hartley that that was his situation for his adult life. But other than that, two small, tiny marks against it. The go-between is fantastic, well written, of course, but also very evocative of the place it describes, and sort of a darker side, as I mentioned before, or could be compared to, say, like a Downton Abbey or something like that. What else? That's about it. My own book, if you'd like to check it out, The Skeleton Palms, a very dark noir thriller set in California and Nevada. And that's it for this time.